Your attention, masters, mistresses. All systems functional for the Everything Geek podcast.
Hey, this is Rich McDonald, and I play Commander David Mason on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And you're listening to Everything Geek podcast.
Hey, it's James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Plo Koon in Star Wars The Clone Wars, and you're listening to Everything Geek, the podcast.
Hey, it's Leif Gamfert. I played Uncle Ben's killer in The Amazing Spider-Man, and you're listening to the Everything Geek podcast.
Hello, I'm Simon Fisherbecker. You probably know me better as Dorian Moldavar from Doctor Who, or the Fat Friar from Harry Potter. And this is Everything Geek podcast.
Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot with the Everything Geek podcast.
You're listening to the Everything Geek podcast, bringing you interviews from your favorite films and TV shows every week, and all of the latest news. Here's your host, Rory Williamson.
Hello everyone, you're listening to the Everything Geek podcast. I'm your host Rory, and joining me is co-host Al. And also joining us today is a very special guest. We have actor Tom Flood, who is best known for playing an Imperial Officer in Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, and a diver in the James Bond film A View to a Kill. So how are you today, Tom?
Yeah, good evening, Rory. I'm fine, thank you.
I'm very good, thank you. It's a pleasure to have you join us today on the podcast. So anyway, getting right into my questions, Tom. My first question for you is, how did you decide you wanted to become an actor?
Okay, Rory, good question. I was about 8, I think, when I decided. I was asked to come up with an idea for the school open day. We call open day, yeah? And I thought, we just got ITV at home, the first time that we'd seen independent television. Before that, it was all BBC. So I said to the teacher, I want to be on the television. I want to advertise. So she said, okay, Tom. So they built me a big television out of a cardboard box, basically. And I got inside, and they wheeled me on in front of all these people, like parents and kids. And we had 3 children sitting in front of the television, pretending to wash it and fiddling with the knobs. And first of all, it was BBC. And so they turned the knobs, and I'd throw the screen down that I was holding, and I'd start talking in a very posh BBC voice. And then the kids sort of shouted out, oh, this is boring. We want the new type of television. We want ITV. So I don't know if they still do it, but the caption was, or the tag was, eat nimble, be nimble. So I did that, and I did the same with the washing powder, whatever their tag was. And there was silence. So I thought, this is going down, not too well. To say mildly, shaking. And so then I had an idea. The next things I started advertising, I started throwing out of the television, out of the screen, into the audience. And the whole place erupted. And I thought, wow, I like that. I'm going to do this. So hopefully that's the answer to your question.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting and unique indeed. So, moving on to my second question, how were you initially cast as an Imperial Officer in Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back?
Okay, well, I'll sort of half answer that. First of all, I was cast as one of the troopers. My agent rang me up and said, would you like to do this new sci-fi film as a space technician, I think she called it. And it was only my second movie. I mean, I hadn't long sort of had a card, and I'd only done one other thing before. And I said, yeah, I'd really like to do that. So I went along to Elstree, and there were about half a dozen of us in the changing room. And we were taken to the wardrobe and dressed as troopers, basically. And led onto the set. And I looked around the set and I thought, wow, this is fabulous. This is amazing. It was an amazing set. It really was. for its time, I don't know, but for that, even looking back on it, it seems the same. It was just like an amazing set, and it looked like the main actors had just come off. They were clearing up, and I think I saw Mark Hamill. I saw somebody I don't know in the distance, disappearing. So anyway, we went to the set. We were introduced to the set, and then we went back to the dressing room, and I sat around for a while. Now I know you've got another question. I think you're going to ask me about the Imperial Officer thing, and I'll throw that in a bit later if I can.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Yeah?
Yeah. So moving on to my next question, which you might have been referring to. What was it like wearing the Imperial Officer uniform for Star Wars? Was it
Right. No, that wasn't actually the question I was thinking of, but the answer to that question is, Rory, it was great. I mean, when I actually got into an Imperial Officer's costume, all the costumes were great, but when I got into the Imperial Officer's costume, it just fitted me like a glove. It just felt so good. The material was nice, the boots were nice, the hat was nice, the little insignia was good, the colour was okay, and I thought, yeah, I look cool. I like this. So that's how it felt.
Yeah, so definitely comfortable to wear. How long did you think it took you to get into the costume?
It didn't take very long. It wasn't. I know some of the guys that had to go on as drones and things. It took them about 2 years to get into the costumes, and I know they sweated like creatures. But for me, it was an easy one. So really, there was no difficulty. It didn't take. It was a quick change artist, 10 minutes at the most.
Very quickly, then. It's very interesting. Moving on to my fourth question, I heard that you were originally going to have a speaking part in The Empire Strikes Back, but they eventually decided not to give you a line. Can you tell us how this came about and why they decided not to give you a line in the end?
I will, if you tell me where you got that information from and how you obtained it.
Well, I'm a journalist. I have my ways.
Yes, I know. You have your wicked
Yeah.
Rory.
I'm just kidding. Dave Aubrey, when he got your autograph at a convention, put on his website and had a little story about how that happened.
Don't believe the word Dave says, Rory.
But is it true? I mean, you're the one who has to say.
Yeah, well, there I was in the dressing room with the other guys, 6 of us all together, I think, dressed as troopers, and the first assistant director comes in and says, "Tom, I want you to change into an Imperial Office costume, and I want you to get on the set. We've got a line or two we might want you to do, and I want you to meet Mr. Kirchner." And I thought, what is this happening? This is like the second time I'd been on a movie set. So I'd only been on once before, and I thought, I don't believe this. So anyway, it was happening. So they changed me into the Imperial Officer's costume, and I went on set. Mr. Kirchner sort of came over, introduced me to Kenneth Coley, who was a very fine actor, and Ken had something to say to me, and I had a line or two to say back to him. Unfortunately, bearing in mind this was only my second appearance on a film set, I screwed up. And I was given another chance to do it, and I screwed it up again. I think the main reason, if anyone's interested, why I screwed it up was because Ken Coley has a very self-depreciating English manner and very quiet, and sort of just throws the lines at you very gently. And I answered the same way. And I think Irvin Kershner wanted it in a very American, very loud, and very military manner. And I didn't see that until afterwards, unfortunately. So he looked at his watch and he said, "Oh, sorry, we haven't got much time for this. So if you'd like to go off back with the first assistant, I think I might have something for you later." So that was how actually the photograph came about, because they had a publicity shot for me to do, which they wanted a very casual publicity shot, like we were on tea break or something. So no posing, but of course there I was in the middle, tilting my hat, trying to be casual, but posing like mad to try and make up for the screw up I made in the movie. But anyway, that's that story.
It's very interesting. It's different to the one I heard before, so you're right. Maybe Dave isn't that correct. Yeah, I think on the website he said Gary Kurtz took a shine to you and offered you a speaking part, and then Irvin didn't like your voice or something. I mean, well, technically he didn't like your voice, but it was more because of the way you delivered the lines, the screw up as you put it, rather than him not just going, this guy, I don't like his voice. No, we're not giving him a speaking part.
No. I mean, actually, Dave was quite right in respect. I mean, I didn't particularly, wasn't going to say on the channel, but I think Gary might have had a shine. I did look rather nice. I mean, I had a shine to myself when I was wearing that. But Gary was a really nice guy, and the second assistant producer were really, really nice guys, and they made it really smooth and easy for me. And that's all I can say about them, really. But Dave was right in that respect, I think.
Okay, Dave, your blushes are spared if you're listening. Yeah.
He's forgiven.
Definitely. We actually interviewed Gary recently. Or I say we, I met him at a convention and interviewed him there, so...
Oh, I wish I'd heard it.
Yeah, you wish you heard it or you did hear it?
No, I wish
I'll send it to you in email later.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, moving on to my final question for you, Tom. Do you have any upcoming acting roles or anything else coming up that you would like to talk about?
Well, I've got nothing at the moment, and I'm not really that interested, to tell you the truth. I'm busy writing songs, writing poetry, writing songs, and sending stuff out to music publishers to try and get a song on an ad or even get a single out. And so I've got something circulating around the end of October, I think. It should be circulating around the news publishers then. It's a song called Permanently Blonde, and it's about all the famous film stars like Marilyn Monroe, Marlene Dietrich, Brigitte Bardot, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I'm up to, Rory, apart from sitting around enjoying looking at the sea and, what other else people do.
It's very interesting, and we'll be sure to keep an eye out for some of those poems and songs, and you should send me a few as well. I might promote them on the page.
I will. I certainly will.
You're very...
I've got one actually that is about, in a funny way, it's about Star Wars. It's a short one about Darth Vader. I might send you.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be happy to see it. So thank you very much, Tom, for answering all of my questions. I'll let my co-host Al ask his now.
Okay, Rory, thanks. Nice to talk to you, man. Take care.
Hiya, it's Al here.
Hi, Al. How you doing?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, you've got a very low voice.
Yeah, sorry, it was having a bit of technical issues, but I'm trying to work it out.
Sorry?
Still trying to work out the technical issues, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay, all right. No, you sound a bit like Marlene Dietrich.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, just got a few questions.
Sure.
What is your favorite memory of working on Star Wars?
The buffet.
The buffet?
Yeah.
So, I mean, can you tell us what sort of foods was given to you? Because I've heard a lot of backdoor areas with fantastic buffets, so I'm quite intrigued.
No. I don't even remember the food, quite honestly, Al. I just thought I'd be, stupid.
No, never that. That's fair. Were you a fan of Star Wars prior to working on The Empire Strikes Back?
Well, to tell you the truth, Al, I mean, I think there was only one movie before The Empire Strikes Back. Wasn't that the main Star Wars one?
Yes, you're right.
Oh, good, I'm right. Thank God for that. They'll all be sending me things telling me how wrong I was. So I didn't know a lot about Star Wars. I love sci-fi. I love space, and I love the Empire Strikes Back. I thought it was a brilliant movie. Sorry, did I answer your question, Al, or have I got sidetracked?
No, you're still on track.
Yeah. The atmosphere was just brilliant. Just from everything, you know. It was just from the set to the people to the costumes to the whole thing. It was great to watch. It was great to partake in as well.
Yeah, are there any? Do you have any favorite characters? In fact, throughout the whole franchise, and
Oh, the whole
why?
franchise. Well, I don't know. I think my favourite character of the whole thing was Jabba the Hutt. It wasn't.
Yeah,
It
fan
wasn't in
favorite.
Empire Strikes Back, but I mean, it was a very funny character.
Awesome. I
And
guess
he was stoned all the time as well, if I remember rightly. Didn't he smoke from a big pipe or something? It was like, I don't know. And I thought this
Yes, you're
character
correct
was,
again.
oh God, I can't believe this. I'm so right. I feel so righteous, Rory.
Yeah, someone needs to give you a crown already.
Thanks. So yeah, that was my favourite character.
awesome. And is there any actors or actresses you'd particularly love to work with?
Not, not really. There's an answer for you. There was a director I really liked working with. If that helps.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that
Can you
was
give us
Terry
more
Gilliam.
details?
That was Terry Gilliam on Brazil.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, it was an amazing movie as well.
Great, great. Sure, that sounds pretty cool. I guess that's all my questions. I'll just pass you back to Rory.
Okay, thanks.
You know, it
Thank
didn't
you.
feel like I was gone for long as I was chipping in here and there to tell Tom he was correct. Yeah.
I missed you,
Yeah.
Rory.
I didn't even have enough time to get a crown. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's all of our questions for you today, Tom. It's been a pleasure talking to you on the podcast.
Thank you very much, Rory. It's been a pleasure talking to you both and to everybody. Can I just mention one thing
Yes.
before we go? It's to do with the website, Sci-Fi Signers United. I know most of the listeners know it, but for those that don't, and for the listeners, for the sci-fies, it's just a great website. It's free. They don't charge. I mean, they don't make any money out of it. The people that run it, but there's a lot of good people on there, and the atmosphere from the early Star Wars years. You know, they're all there, and they're not there forever. You know, they're not eternal. So I would sort of just like as an ad up front here, as an ad, just to say, give it a hit, please.
Very well put, and they have some very good interviewees, I'll just say that much.
Yes,
I would know, of course. So thank you again for joining us on the podcast today, Tom, and hopefully we can talk to you again at some point.
Okay, Rory, it'd be really nice. Thank you very much to both of you, and thank you to everybody
Yeah,
listening.
you're very welcome, so we'll talk to you again soon then. Bye, and thanks again for joining us.
Check out our website, www.everythinggeekpodcast.com/EGP. Check out our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekpodcast. Check out our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/user/everythinggeekcast. Check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/everythinggeekp. Check us out on Instagram, instagram.com/officialeverythinggeekpodcast. Check out our Mixcloud profile, www.mixcloud.com/everythinggeekpodcast. Email us at the following email, everythinggeekpodcast@gmail.com. Check out our companion podcast, Everything Geek Comiccast, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekcomiccast. Make sure to check out the hosts' YouTube channels, Mine is www.youtube.com/user/Separatist Check out Al's Twitter, twitter.com/mygurma. Check out Tom Flood on Sci-Fi Signers United, sci-fi-signers-united.weebly.com/Tom Flood, and check out Channel 138 where we broadcast live from www.channel138.com. So geeks out, everyone.
Perhaps in two takes, so you could do a takeoff and then a landing. It always stands out in your mind when sometimes things that you don't expect to go wrong can go wrong.
Oh yeah, when you make a movie, there's just a camera and a crew there. There's no audience for feedback. You really have no idea how the public are going to take to you. So it was a great surprise and a great privilege for me.